following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys give their movie recommendation for the week and discuss the NFL draft. They also answer a listener question and wrap it up with trivia. Let's get it!
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Check. Poop. Money. West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up. Keep it trail, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, but get out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't the Defy Life. Told you. This is the Shy Life. I'm gonna let this ride out though. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 152. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glenf, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glenf. What's good with you, Pooh?
Man, what's good? I definitely can't call it. I'm beginning to feel smothered, man. I don't know how much I can go, man.
Man,
you can go the distance, my brother.
Right. No, not like that. I'm talking about without sticking my head outside. Yo, I might stick my head out there. No.
Stay strong, man. We only got a couple more days or months to go. We don't know.
That's it.
Right.
I'm like, you going the distance, bro. Don't step out there. Trust me, you do not want to go out there.
You don't.
I ain't want them problems. Hey.
Dude, none of that smoke. Man, Al was good.
Man, hold on. Let me get my West Coast J on. Oh, man, I'm cooling like 2 L's, man. I'm chilling. Cooling like 2 L's. Man, you know, I am shout out to West Coast J and that crew over there. Nothing but love. Man, it's so different. I feel good. I mean, it's always good to be on the show. Good to hear y'all voices, and you know that things is good with y'all. It's just good to be here, man. So I'm good.
Yeah, man. I think different is about the only way to describe it, man. It's like, I mean, nobody has like any. You talk to somebody, everybody's like, "Yo, what's good with you?" Ain't nothing new. I ain't discovered no new shit in this house. So, yeah, man. It's
in the sense of no news is good news. Like,
right.
When like the changes, like when things change, a lot of times it's not a good change nowadays. So
yeah,
it's like
that's true.
The fact that everything is as good as it was yesterday, yes, check.
I'll take it. Right.
I'll take that. That.
Yeah, it's just found out today that my kids. The kids are not going back to school this year up here. So yeah,
that's today. Y'all like a week behind us. We learned that maybe like on Thursday or Friday of last week.
All right,
made that announcement.
Okay, and which I mean pretty much knew anyway. So it I don't know. I mean, the kids think it's summertime already, so just gotta keep them real, Dan. But it's cool.
And it's such a difference in how schools are handling it, you know. So and how cities are handling it. So it offers such a varying experience for people, and I think that's going to be the interesting part of it as we, you know, come out of this. Just to hear what life was like in Chicago.
All right.
Iowa as they dealt with this, because everybody seems to be dealing with it a little differently.
True. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I mean, everybody's going through this shit. So like you said a few weeks ago, it's our new normal. So we just gotta operate as we're told. So
pretty much,
all right.
Pretty much. Yeah. And if not, take the risk of.
No, I ain't doing that shit.
Right, because I'm telling you, man, as I'm talking to New Yorkers and what people are experiencing, I mean, you know, you talking about 4,000 deaths in New York City so far,
right?
And that eventually that touches people, you know, and it's like, oh shit, that's so and so's grandma. Wow, wow. So. Yeah,
I guess that's the strange part, and like the hard part to deal with is it's inevitable that it's going to touch your circle. So, you know, so just stay as safe as possible. You hear me, Pooh? Stay as safe as possible. Stay your ass at home.
Stick in there, man. Hang in there.
Yeah. I'm only gonna go out, you know.
Damn. See, y'all gonna have me living out fantasies, walking into Walmart.
Oh, let me send y'all this photo now, yo. Y'all really.
I always wanted to walk into a bank, a Walmart, with the ski mask on, and I get to live out a bucket list.
Yo,
check this.
You see it?
No, I didn't get it yet. Hold on. Let's see.
Which one you sending them, Pooh?
The one with when we have on the bandanas.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because I was like, yeah, now we the serious people, because we was talking about how
right.
People serious around here. So, yo.
I didn't get it.
Al, I just sent you one too. It's 2 pictures with the Defy Life bandanas. Like,
hell yeah.
Y'all the serious people.
Y'all should have. You got it, Jay? You see it?
Yeah, I got it.
Al, you see it?
I just got it. Yes. Oh hell yeah!
That's crazy. But yeah, I'm about to get them Defy Life joints.
Yeah. Okay. Me too.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I don't know, but I don't know. But before we get too deep into the show, you know, I know probably everybody on every single podcast in America is talking about something about coronavirus. So we're gonna cut this shit short and you know, let y'all you know, like y'all can live a fantasy world and shit that don't involve the virus. So let's do that.
Because everything else seems to, so I can take a break.
Yeah. So, but as always, you know, got a little bit of house cleaning in the beginning. So first, as always, again, I want to shout out a couple of our patrons. I want to shout out Nichole Sanders and Carolyn Hall, Miss Carolyn, Kim's mama. So shout out to you, Miss Carolyn. We love you. I miss your potato salad. I really do. So I cannot wait for this Defy Life cookout, so I can have some more of that potato salad. But yeah, shout out Nichole and Miss Carolyn. You know, people always ask, you know, what's the best way to support the network? Go to patreon.com/GoDefyLife and become a patron of Defy Life. You can help support our growth, allow us to host events, continue to work in the community. So that's the best and direct way to work and to support us. So, you know, if you want to become a patron, please go to patreon.com and find Defy Life and become a patron. We'll shout you out too. You get all kind of perks and free gear and all kind of stuff. So it's reciprocal, and we promise not to spend it all in one place. And as always, you know, you can listen to us at defylifepods.com. That's our hub, our home to all of our podcasts. You can also listen to us anywhere else your favorite podcasts are available. And definitely check out GoDefyLife.com for our written content, and DefyLifeGear.com for all of your Defy Life gear. So, and definitely don't forget the Autism Awareness shirts are out there still. But yeah, man, before we cut off this COVID-19 talk completely. I was watching the news the other night, and locally here in Winston, and they were talking to people that were going to church service at night, one night in the middle of the week. I don't know, you're not church folks on random nights. So they were just interviewing people, like trying to get them to understand, like, you shouldn't be in these large crowds, why are you still going to church and congregating? And these folks, man, I'm calling folks. I was about to call them something else. These folks was somebody, I ain't worried about it. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. I was like, Jesus can get this shit too. And then he go be enough. So I don't know, man. Like, to me, so Al, is there anything that anybody could call you out of the house that's that important to you to risk your life at this time right about now?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely something that could get me out the house.
I mean outside of saving somebody else's life. I'm saying like congregating with a bunch of people.
No, not that.
Yeah.
Not something that wasn't life threatening, like to your point. I think the I think the idea in terms of essential travel should just be that, right? Essential travel. And I think everybody else is really trying to, I think what people should be doing is trying to come up with an alternative method of engaging people because essential travel is just that. And, the virus is not discriminating, and, it will infect, from my understanding, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, it will infect you. That's just what I haven't heard any discrimination on that regard.
Right.
So I recommend, people stay home. That would be if you can, stay home and don't if your pastor is telling you to, come physically to be in my church, you need to pick another pastor.
Right.
That ain't the pastor for you. That'll be my comment.
Right. And then while you at it, if you're going to go do that, like, why wear a seatbelt? Why change your brakes? You know what I'm saying? Why do all the others? You covered in the blood of Jesus, going to save you from everything. Why do all that shit? So, Pooh, let's say you listen to the radio tomorrow, you're in the house, trying to figure out, what you're going to do for the day inside, and you listen to the radio and they got an announcement. Hey, Walter Payton, Michael Jordan, and Tupac are signing autographs at your local mall. And it's going to be wrapped around the building. It's going to be packed to the gills. It's litty. You going?
Bro, I'm not going.
I ain't going.
Bro, I ain't going. It's going to be, hey, chances are a substantial amount of fans going to be out there with that COVID-19.
Right.
It is no way that, none of them people going to have it. Bro, I'm not going. I'm not going out there for pastor telling me to get out there, because I think God gave me common sense.
Right.
And that's common sense, not for me to take my ass out there.
Yeah.
Not going out there. I'm not going out there.
When I found out my mama was streaming church on Sundays from the house, I was like, yeah, don't nobody need to be at church. If my mama ain't going to church, don't nobody need to be out there. Y'all need to stay at home.
Y'all need to stay at home. If she don't figure it out, y'all need to figure it out.
But my auntie calling me, my auntie calling me to my Jay, show me how to stream church. Yeah,
I'm glad she called you.
Right.
I missed the call, and I was like, dang, I hope I didn't stop her from going to church because I missed her phone call. But it's nice to know that she was able to attend church because her other nephew hooked up.
Right, she gonna make calls until somebody figure out how to get her to
somebody
church.
Somebody help.
So but y'all stay your ass at home. But enough of that, man. Just I don't know, church folks. Sorry, mama.
Sorry.
So last week we had a question from who was it? Philip, I think it was asking us about movies we should recommend, and we said we would, while we stuck in here, we recommend a movie each a week. So Pooh, what's your movie Oh, and I watched The Secret Window. I was highly disappointed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta write it. I threw my piece of paper away. My notes. I wrote it in my notes. I threw my notes away. Okay.
You about to put a line through it and
no. I'm gonna watch it now. I'm gonna watch it now.
You batting,
you know, hey, that's his opinion. That's his opinion.
Yeah, you batting 0 for 1 in my book right now, Pooh. So
wait a minute. Time out. You saw the Notebook, right?
So yeah, but I saw the Notebook before. I probably saw the Notebook before I even knew you. That wasn't your recommendation.
Before you knew me, huh?
I'm saying you didn't recommend the Notebook last week.
I mean, but no, I didn't. You're right.
Right.
Hey, all right, it's done.
And I didn't watch that on your recommendation. I did watch The Secret Window on your recommendation. And
true that.
Johnny Depp and his posse was trash. I don't know. But Al, watch it for yourself.
I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I'm still
please
gonna watch it.
Check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, please check it out. So, Pooh, redeem yourself, sir. What's your recommendation for this week?
I'm gonna recommend. I checked this movie out about 2-3 nights ago. I was surfing, trying to find something to watch, and the name called me. I think it was Uncorked, and I was like, man, what is this about? So I watched the trailer, and this cable that I have right now called a Cable Pass, and that damn near showed me the entire movie. And I was like, yo, I better start watching this trailer before. There's no need for me to watch it. Right. The trailer is like 9 minutes long, so
you saw the good parts.
Right. So I checked it out, and I mean, some things you can get the gist, you're gonna know what's going on, but it's a different movie.
I love that movie. I watched it too. So you just redeem yourself for mine, sir.
Hey, enough said.
Yeah,
I'm back.
You back. You back 5 at 500 right now.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that was a good movie.
That ain't
That's a
bad.
good recommendation,
That ain't
right?
bad.
And I like that dude. I don't even know his name, but I've seen him in a couple movies now. He's a newer guy. But,
new guy.
I saw him in. He was in Last Black Man in San Francisco or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was there. He was in that, and then I saw. I think it's on Hulu or Netflix, one of them. But he's got a series out, a comedy series, but it's like a mini show. It's like 15 minutes per episode, and he's got a show out there too. So I think it's called Jerome, no, something like that. But he's kind of up and coming. So yeah, I like Uncorked was really good.
Right, that was my first time ever seeing him. I went in completely without any expectations or anything. I was completely blind, a neophyte to him.
Yeah, that kid's good on this show. I watched a couple episodes, and he just really told me he's a single guy trying to become tougher because he falls in love so quick, telling chicks he love them on the first date and all kind of stuff. So,
wow, okay,
yeah. So, I like him. I got to figure out his name. Well, yeah, that's a good one. Al, what say you? What's your recommendation for the week?
So I would not recommend Invisible Man. I did watch that this week, and it was okay. But I wouldn't rush to see that. And honestly, the couple of the Uncorked is a movie that's on my list, but I want to watch it with my wife because she was one of the people. That movie comes highly recommended. I think you and Pooh now, it's like another 5 other people who told me yo, check this movie out. So, cool. But since she was one of them 5 people, I'm trying to time it so that we can watch it at the same time, and that's just trying to keep the peace at the house since we here.
I definitely understand.
All day, every day. I ain't really got no time to duck out and go to work and get away from it. So I'm trying to keep things as peaceful as possible around the crib. So what I'm going to do is going to recommend just the best movie I watched this week. And it's a movie I hadn't seen in a long time. But I watched King of New York this week. And the Frank White. Where Biggie get that name from.
Right.
But it's a movie that has Lawrence Fishburne. It has Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
It got Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. So just hadn't seen it in a while, and just happened to be on, and just checked it out and watched it. And I can't think of the main guy's name, the white dude.
I can't recall his name either.
The main actor. Walken, I think.
Christopher Walken. Yeah.
Christopher.
Funny talking Chris Walken. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that if you haven't seen that movie or you haven't seen it in a while, just definitely worth a good check out. Just because, I mean, like I was telling my wife, one of the things I appreciate about watching films is that oftentimes they give you a sense of what life was like at that period of time in this country or wherever it is. And so, like, we just happened to be watching this like Jack Nicholson movie 3 or 4 nights ago, and the movie Chinatown movie was made in the 70s, but it was set in the 50s, right? Huh. So, like, now you're looking at life potentially 60, 70 years ago, what life was like in California, in Los Angeles 70 years ago. And at some point in the scene, Jack Nicholson just smacks this woman 3 times.
Nice.
Wham, wham,
can't do that shit no more.
Right, and I look at my wife like, "Oh, you don't see that in Hollywood." Like, and it was so matter of factly, like he smacks her, throws her down, throws her into the wall, and then continues to interrogate her. Like, so anyway, so what I was saying was, and then at the end of the conversation, it's so like just nothing. Like they all lovey-dovey, and it's just like, wow, like that's so not the reality of today. Like, that's crazy. So, so that's the cool part that, when you can find a really, really good movie that kind of can stand the test of time to where you don't mind watching it, even though it's 50, 60, 40, however many years old, right. It's a good watch. So
cool. What was the name of it again? I'm going to check it out.
Chinatown.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Was 70, so you're talking about a Jack Nicholson that is in his 30s, maybe early 40s at most.
Right.
Young man. And it's like to the point that Gina was watching it for 15 minutes, didn't even know who it was. Why you think we watching this shit? Like, that's the only reason I watch it, because I recognize him. And I'm like, let me see what this is about.
Yeah,
but
Jack
it turns out
it's the Lakers games yet.
Nah, not yet. Turns out it was one of the biggest movies of the year. As you Google it, it's like, oh shit, this is a major movie. But I ain't never heard of it.
All right. Yeah, I'd heard of it. I've never watched it, so I'm gonna check it out.
All
right. Cool. Well, my recommendation for the week is She Hate Me. I don't know if y'all ever saw it. It's one of the low-key Spike Lee joints.
Yeah.
With Anthony Mackie and Kerry Washington when they were young. So, really just kind of the ones that had not a lot of fanfare. One Spike kind of slid in on us, but Q-Tip is in it, and it's a pretty dope movie. So,
very provocative.
Right, yeah. So, it's one of those, every now and then Spike will slide some provocative shit in on us. And he did it. That's what kind of turned me on to Anthony Mackie. He's one of my favorite actors. So first time I saw him in something, so that's my guy. So yeah, She Hate Me. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, I liked it. I probably haven't watched it since I watched it then, but I do remember liking it. Like, oh yeah, like I totally forgot about it. It's like if you had said name some Spike Lee movies, I probably wouldn't have named that one, but I do remember liking it though. I thought, oh yeah, I remember that movie. That was a good movie.
Right. Yeah. So, Pooh, you seen She Hate Me?
Yeah. I seen
it. Cool.
I seen it. Yeah. I can't even recall like a lot about it, but I remember some things in it. But I'm gonna go back and rehash it since you said it, because we just fired up. School Days about 2-3 days ago.
I was about to watch that shit the other day.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, y'all definitely go check those out. And we'll be back next week with some more suggestions for y'all while y'all stuck in the house. So go watch something. Yeah, last week we also talked some NFL draft. We talked quarterbacks, running backs, and wideouts last week. So this week we're going to talk a little bit of, as we lead up to the draft, we're going to talk tight ends, offensive linemen. So we got tight ends, offensive tackles, and interior offensive linemen. So for y'all, probably casual fans out there, this might be y'all might learn something. Most people don't pay attention to these dudes. So yeah, we're gonna drop some knowledge, on the tight ends and the offensive linemen. So same format as last week. Al, tight ends. It's not a very strong tight end class. A lot of there's a lot of names out there that people don't know about. A lot of potential, but ain't really, it ain't no Gronks out there. Nobody's got a big name coming out. Leonard Davis is. What's the dude? Yeah, Leonard Davis. Tony Gonzalez, big names like that. So
yeah.
What's your thoughts on the tight end class for this year, and who's your top guy and who's your sleeper?
I think I agree with you. There's no bona fide stud to where when you look at this class,
Vernon Davis. I said Leonard Davis. Yeah, Vernon Davis. My bad. Go ahead.
Who was Leonard Davis? Why I know that name?
Leonard Davis used to play for the Cowboys, offensive tackle.
Offensive tackle. You started with the Cardinals. I remember that dude. Good guy. Good left tackle. So you don't have that guy out there. Like the OJ, the guy that's with came out of Alabama.
OJ Howard. Yeah.
OJ Howard. So but the guy from Notre Dame is the guy that I like most.
Yeah.
I never say his name right.
Cole Kmet.
Kmet.
Yeah.
I always want to say it Kemet, but Kmet. I was like, damn, which one is it? Because I always say it the wrong way. So I like him. I think he got good size. My sleeper is Moss out of LSU.
Yeah.
I guess maybe just because his name sticks out. I've seen him play quite a couple of, about 4 games. Good hands, and so I like to see one of my squads end up with him, because I think after maybe a year or two, you could see him like put on a little weight and be a good up the seams type of a tight end. So
okay. Yeah, I like Moss. You're right. He's a sleeper. Won't be drafted early, but definitely got the bloodlines, and he's showing flashes of being really good. So he's an interesting choice. Pooh, who's your what you think about the tight end class, and who's your top guy, and who's your sleeper? Pooh over there trying to sneak chips, or you on mute?
My bad. I was mute when I was coughing, but allergy season. But
good.
Hey, but I definitely, I like Komet. But they have the guy, what's his name? Adam, was it Troutman?
Troutman, yeah.
Troutman, yeah. They have him scouted as the number one guy. But I was reading a few scouting reports on Komet, and the Bears are kind of linked to looking at him in the second or third round. I also like that. I do like that Moss. He's 250, 6'2", 250. That's what they're saying anyway. 6'2" doesn't really, I guess, excite me, but he has great hands. I don't think I've ever seen him drop a pass, from the games I've been watching. But the kid, Kobe, what is his name? Parkinson?
Stanford.
Stanford, the 6'7" kid.
Yeah.
I may turn some heads, because he didn't get to play with the quarterback of old, the way Stanford was kind of had great quarterback play. So you didn't really hear a lot of, or it wasn't overall team effort, because the past few years when Luck and those guys was there, Stanford was pretty loaded. So especially you could be able to especially at tight end. So, but I think Kobe has a chance to be solid.
Yeah, I like Parkinson, and again, Stanford, they always are putting out studs at tight end. You got Zach Ertz, stud, the guy that just left the Falcons.
Man, who was it?
Hooper, yeah, Austin Hooper.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they keep a tight end stacked. Toy Lolo, they always keep a tight end.
Yeah.
I think Kemet is my top guy. He's probably the most NFL ready, right now. And one to look out for, Bryson Hopkins from Purdue. More of a pass catching tight end, but current NFL, we've seen what those kind of tight ends can do. So I like him.
What about? I just saw this. I was just having to look at a few stats, combine numbers. The kid Albert Okwabenen.
I call him AOK. That's what his name is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kid 6'5", 258. Kid ran a 4.49.
Yeah. I've been high on they call him Albert or AOK. But I've been high on Albert for like a year. He was supposed to be the top tight end coming out this year, going into last year. But Missouri lost Drew Luck, so his playing with a different quarterback. Kelly Bryant was their quarterback.
Kelly Bryant, yeah.
Passing numbers kind of went down.
Right.
He didn't really, show much improvement as a blocker, and he kind of regressed in his, chunk plays.
Okay.
So still the potential's there. He's looking like a day 2 guy, but.
He was cruising.
Yeah. So my it's crazy. My laptop just keep powering off, and when I turn it back, you know what I'm saying?
I just made a funny. Probably heard. Yeah, I just made a funny. It's probably on the show then.
Oh, definitely.
I was telling.
So this is. Might need to get it checked out for that Rona.
Good, man.
Huh?
I'm going.
Now you're choppy.
It was acting up on us like the last 2 weeks. The Skype though, it was super duper choppy. The show didn't come out like that. It was here and there, but the show was fine. But it was mad choppy.
It's weird. I don't know. Like it just powered. The whole laptop just powered off though. Powered off. I turned it back on, and y'all still there. So
you're there talking. Yeah.
Right. So, but again, it'll be interesting. Tight end class, a whole lot of potential. Not a lot of, I don't think there's any can't miss prospects in this tight end class. So this is going to be interesting to see.
Right.
On to the offensive tackles. Pooh, I know you. First of all, I want to retract something I said to you when we were speaking to each other. Jedrick Willis is a beast, and I think the dude is going to be I went back after you asked me. I went back and watched some more of his film.
Watch some tape on him.
Yeah, Willis is a monster. And you asked, could he play left tackle? He definitely can play left tackle. Granted, he's got the ability to. I don't know why they play him at right tackle, whether he's more comfortable there or whether what's the other kid that's a monster at left tackle is Leatherwood is really good too. So I guess they figured, we got 2 beasts at offensive tackles. So we just put one on the right, one on the left. But
one on the left, right.
But I think Jedrick Willis is highly capable of playing left tackle. And dude, he was just mauling people when I saw him. I went back and watched him again, and I was like, "Yo, Pooh might be on to something." So yeah,
right.
But yeah, so on to you. Who's your top guy? What's your overall thoughts on the class? Who's your top guy, and who's your sleeper?
I think the class is pretty solid. I think they probably go. I'm looking at the list. I always like to pull it up, while we're going over them. Man, I'm looking. I think they might go man, 6'7", 8 deep. Not first rounders, but definitely solid guys. You can get a starter out of there, or maybe a year or two down the line starter, definitely. But they're pretty solid. I'm going 10 down, man, and the kid Matt Perrette from Connecticut, he's there 6'6", 310. But I really like the class. I would love to get one of these guys. I'm thinking maybe the kid Josh Jones will be there for from Houston for maybe in the fourth. Let me see. No, sir. He's projected to go second or third round.
Yeah, he can go in the fourth. Yeah.
So, man, these I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to get one because they're not projecting us to go tackle until like the third, fourth round. Maybe that kid won't be there. It's a solid class. It's a very, very solid class. Like I say, I'm 10 deep, and it's still projecting for the second and third round. So the guys are pretty solid, man.
Yeah. Is this do you have a sleeper that you're looking at, or?
If Charlie Heck could slip through the cracks, I'm looking now. They have, I guess, maybe he wasn't started that long. I don't know. I'm trying to read right now with the knock on him. They just said that he was impressive against Clemson, and they kind of upped his stock, but that's not really saying much because we didn't have a dominant pass rusher this year. So I guess they really don't have, I guess, a lot of good tape on him with dominant pass rushers. So they don't really, I guess, maybe don't really know. But I would love to maybe scoop him up in the third or fourth round.
Okay.
So I guess Charlie Heck will be he'll be my, even though he's the fourth rated guy, but he could definitely be one of those top guys or the top guy. But I think the kid from Bama, Willis, I think he's an absolute stud. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they have the kid from Boise State, Cleveland.
Oh,
Ezra
Cleveland.
Yeah. I see he's rated pretty high as well. Yeah. But yeah, that's my guy, man. That's my sleeper out of here. The kid from Charlie Heck.
Okay. Cool. All right, Al. What's your thoughts on the offensive tackle class, and who's your top guy? Who's your sleeper?
I think solid at best. I mean, I think maybe I see guys who I don't see resting like guys that I would project to be like high end, top in the league tackles in this draft, and maybe they might. Maybe those sleepers or people might outperform my expectation. But, I mean, I think Pooh's right where you got, 8, 10, maybe even 12 guys that might get, drafted because I think there's some real good guys coming out and there is a need. But I still don't see that guy at the top that I would. I mean, some years – You have that guy who you might see one or two because it's like, this guy's gonna be a solid left tackle. He gonna get a second contract. He's worth selecting. I just don't see that guy. But I agree that I think the guy at Alabama, Willis, is the best tackle though. I agree with that. Although I think especially like he's the best because I think he has the experience and the tape, and you've seen his name, you've heard his name for a while. But I really like, and maybe it's just because he's been projected to go to the Jets quite a bit, so I've watched some tape and had a chance to look at him. But this kid out of Louisville, Becton, is like the truth. And like once he gets your hands on you staying with him. So big dude.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, big dude and real strong. So I do hope he does fall to the Jets, and I say fall because some people have him as the first tackle off the board, which is to me just kind of exactly what I'm talking about. To where, and depending on the mock, you might have any one of 3 or 4 tackles.
Right.
People are rotating who's going to be the first tackle off the board, but I think most people though are agreeing with us that most people, the crowd is going with Wills as the guy. So my sleeper, there was another tackle. Most people, you think of Georgia, the guy you think tackle, you think Andrew Thomas.
Thomas, yeah, I was gonna say Thomas. I totally forgot about him. Please forgive me, Thomas. He's a beast too. I totally forgot about him. Yeah, I forgot about him.
And there's another guy that's down there, Isaiah Wilson.
I was just about to say, they got 2. Yeah, they have 2. Yeah,
that's my sleeper, just because I know both of them are really, really good, and I would put Thomas ahead of them, but I think Isaiah is gonna, somebody's gonna get him, mid part of the draft, maybe even late draft, depending on where he falls. And how many receivers get drafted, because it seems like it's going to be a lot of wide receivers drafted, and some of these guys might slip lower than normal years.
I think both of those kids from Georgia rated top 10, isn't it, Jay? Top 10, top 12?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you'll be lucky you'll be ecstatic to get them at 15. I mean, one of them guys, because both of them rated in the top 10. Yeah. I
don't expect him to go. I mean, I know he's rated high. But I think you talk about once these receivers once you run on the receivers, if any quarterback slides up, I just think you're going to have, there's some people that will fall, right? You're going to get good value.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like him a lot, though.
Yeah, it's tough to pick a top guy in this class. I still, like, NFL ready right now. I think Wills and a lot of these guys can, like Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. I like him. I think he'd be a good tackle, but I think he'd be like an all-pro guard. So a lot of these guys,
I kind of have him as a guard,
right? Long term, who I think has the most upside, I think Josh Jones out of Houston.
My guy, yeah.
You got to clean some things up, but I like Jones a lot. But my sleeper is a guy who was, if he based on his trajectory, if he were able to come out 2 years ago, he would have been the top tackle on the board 2 years ago. But he tore his ACL and couldn't come out, so he had to stay. And then last year when he came back, he hurt his back. So it's another wasted year. But he came back this year and had a really good season, and that is Trey Adams from Washington. Did a really good job protecting Jacob Eason. But 6'8", 320.
Wow.
Yeah. He's 35-inch arms. So he's got all everything is there. It's just the injuries, and of course he's not as dominant as he was when he before he got hurt. So if he can get back to complete form, right now he's probably looking at like a second, third round. But if he can get back to complete form long term, Trey Adams is a monster.
Yeah, I'm reading right now on him. Yeah, I'll take him. I'll give him a shot.
I'll definitely give him a shot. So
right, give him a shot.
And shout out to the HBCUs. Alex Lewis from South Carolina State. It's probably going to be like a 4th round pick, but really, really think he's about 6'8", 6'9", maybe 6'7", 6'8". But he's only about 300 pounds, skinny legs. He look like a basketball player. But the kid can move, and he's got all kind of upside. So he's going to be fun to watch. Yeah, so we talked about guys that we'd be potentially moving to guard. So we're going to actually talk about the guards and centers right now. So the interior offensive lineman, Pooh, what do you think about the class? Who's your top guy, and who's your sleeper?
All right, of course. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Well, it's hard not to look at a list and a cat from Iowa. A cat from Iowa not on there though. They just so you just know, man. Iowa, Wisconsin. If one of those guys on the board just from prestige, you know, you definitely like to go at them. Okay, let me see. I like. Okay, so they have what is his name? Wirfs. They had him playing either tackle or guard. Like you say, I really like him at guard as well. And they have him rated as the number 1 tackle and guard, but I would rather play him as guard as well. But I really like the kid. I really like the kid from Oregon. What is it? Shane Lemieux? I like that kid. He played hard. He played with a lot of pop. You know, explosive. I like that kid. The kid Robert Hunt from Lafayette. You know, he seemed, you know, big, explosive as well. I guess probably the knock on him is going to be competition. You know how they, you know, they always, you know, go there. Right. But I really think the kid could be good. Logan Stantberg out of Kentucky. Yeah, that's probably my sleeper. Okay. Well, not my sleeper, but I think because he played against dogs Saturday in and Saturday out. You know, the team really, they had a pretty good year. They ran the ball well. They had, you know, exciting offense. They had a bunch of fast skill players, and they held their own offensively and up front, and he was one of the reasons why. So Stantberg, that's my guy. That's my dark horse. All right. And I guess it's my top guy. My top guy, I'm gonna go with what's his name? Wirfs. Wirfs. How you go? Wirfs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Al, what say you? What's your thoughts on the class? Your top guy and your sleeper.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this class of interior linemen, it's even very similar comments to the tackle, but even worse. Like I don't. I mean, again, you know, you're gonna have some players who have a good career and play 8-10 years in the league. You have those players in this draft, but even more so, there's even less of that gap of top tier talent. Like these guys are, you know, again, if someone, I would be surprised if you see a guard or center, even not counting worse. I think I think he is the best of the class. You just don't know, is he going to be a tackle or a guard? So I'll acknowledge him. But then once you get past him, the rest of those guys, I would be shocked if any of them get drafted in the first round. You know, you don't see that. But then even, you know, but so we'll see how it plays out. But that's my thoughts on the draft. My top guy, and maybe because, you know, I like Michigan, so Ohio State dominated Michigan for the last few years, and running game and passing game was solid. My top guy is out of Ohio State.
Okay.
And Jackson, Jonah Jackson, dude is just I just like the way he competes. Out of the top guys, he's as I looked at the list, he's the guy that's kind of stood out. And when I was looking at some, you know, clips, I just like the way he competes. So that's my top guy. Sleeper. So I'm looking at this list, and I don't really know much about him per se, except I'm looking at the top. He's a guard out of LSU, Damian Lewis, and you know, they got him on the board. This list has him like in the 60s or 70s in terms of top player, and you know, out of all the players. But I just look at LSU they were a very productive offense last year, and in the SEC, with some really, really good linemen, and then even against Clemson. So I look at anybody coming out of that class of that offensive line, if they've got him in the middle of the pack of these guards, centers, then that's going to be my pick of a sleeper, Damian Lewis, because I just feel like they're coming from a system, coming from a very productive environment, and I wouldn't be afraid to add them to my roster.
Yeah, Damian Lewis is an interesting guy. Like he's one of those dudes that's really big and really heavy, but he ain't really that strong. So he's hard to move, but he don't have a lot of pop in his game. So, but if he can develop more strength and develop, working on his leverage while continuing, because he's just a really hard guy to move. But he can't really move people because his feet are heavy. But he's an interesting guy. I like Damian Lewis. He's going to be sort of a project, but all the tools are definitely there. Another guy from LSU to look at, their center, Lloyd Cushenberry. Lloyd Cushenberry III, what kind of name is that?
Third.
Right. But he really, really shined at the Senior Bowl. One of the, kind of made a name for himself, really versatile. He can play guard and center. Kind of, above average. He's a plus athlete as a center. He needs to work on, maintaining leverage, keeping his balance on the second level. So really, he doesn't have. He's not great at anything, but he's really solid. My top guy in interior. Al, you mentioned Ohio State, Michigan. A Michigan guy is my top guy. Cesar Ruiz.
Yeah, I thought about him.
Yeah. Again, there's some talk of him sliding into the first round. There's always guys that get hyped, the last couple of weeks. I still don't see him sliding into the first round. It wouldn't shock me. But he'll probably go in round 2. But again, he can play guard and center. He's a 4-year starter. He's a really smart guy, a plus athlete as well. But he excels from the neck up. Really smart. Really, doesn't. The only thing he really needs to work on is picking up stunts. He has some issues at times, like when D lines run stunts, he kind of gets confused. But that's something that comes with more experience, especially as he on the next level with better coaching. But Cesar Ruiz is my top guy. So there's your Michigan guy. And my sleeper, there's so again, I guess I kind of got an affinity for guys who would have been like lock-in first rounders if they didn't get hurt. But Netane Muti from Fresno State, if you go watch his film when he's healthy, he's only played 5 games in the last 2 years. He tore his Achilles 2 years ago, and I think he tore an ACL last year. So he's only played 5 games in the last 2 years. But in those 5 games, he is wrecking shop. Like, dude is, when I say he rolling people on the ground, like there's this one clip where he pancakes somebody, the dude started to get up, and he rolls him down the field. Like, hits him again, and he starts rolling. It's crazy. But, of course, you're concerned about the injury history. He'll probably go 3rd, 4th round somewhere in there. But if he can stay healthy, somebody got themselves a steal. Oh my God, dude is a monster. But yeah, so those are our guys. Again, y'all might not know a lot of these names out there, but if you do, congratulations, you belong here. But if you don't, hope y'all enjoy learning, about the offensive linemen. I got a soft spot for those guys, and the tight ends. So yeah, man.
If you're a Jet fan, you need to be paying attention. Because
you need all you can get.
we gonna be drafting offensive linemen this draft, so I hope you was taking notes if you're a Jets fan. Because be prepared for 2 or 3 offensive linemen to be drafted by the Jets.
Yeah, and if you're a Steelers fan, you might want to listen too, because it's time for us to start rebuilding our line. And if you're a Bears fan, so hey, there you go.
No doubt. And I also, before you jump, get out of there, I definitely wanted to big up Cushenberry as well. Because I remember them saying that he was calling out the calls and the defenses right along with Joe Burrow. If he didn't call it out before Joe,
right?
So You know, so I think he knows the pro style, the pro game. Yeah, so he definitely the good guy to invest in.
No doubt. He's as Jerry Jones would call him, he's a war daddy. I like
war daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I got a draft related question for y'all. Not necessarily pertaining to this year's draft, but just something that popped in my head. So I'm asking both of you. I guess this is a host question and a listener question. If there was a draft of all current NFL players and you had the second pick, Pat Mahomes is off the board, right? Who you taking? And this is to start a franchise, not necessarily to win a Super Bowl this year, but to start your franchise, a new franchise.
I'm taking Russ.
Russ Wilson? Okay.
Russell Wilson. I think he's still he's in the midst of his prime, and I think one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And to me, past Mahomes, he offers that balance of still young enough to, if I was starting a franchise, he could, kind of help me settle things down, but then be successful quick.
All right.
And so, yeah, I would take Russ.
Okay. Pooh, who you taking?
That's a great pick, man. I actually think Russell Wilson is still getting better.
Yeah, true.
I think he's still getting better. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the young guy, man. I'm gonna get the young guy, man. I'm gonna get the kid out of Baltimore. I'll take him. Okay. I'm gonna get Lamar. I'll take him.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting because it's different when when you like a player or you're like, man, I would love to have him on my team. But when you're talking about starting the franchise, and of course everybody will take Pat Mahomes first.
Right.
But of course everybody first inclination is to go to quarterback, rightfully so. But then that's when you start realizing that's a hard choice to make, because you start looking at age. You start looking at, how, like with Lamar, how difficult would it be to build a team around him? But that's a hell of a talent to build around.
Right.
So yeah, it's tough. I came down to Deshaun Watson.
Okay, and I thought about Deshaun too. I really did.
Because like Al said, he's kind of the perfect mix to me of like mobility and passing ability.
And passing ability, right?
And he's still young, and I would hope that I could do a better job of building around that team than Bill O'Brien. Building around him and not trading away your best player.
Wow.
So that's what I would hope for. But yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, of course, I started looking at left tackles and pass rushers. I was like, nah, I got to go back to quarterback. So.
Got to go back to quarterback. I thought about it too for a moment. Right. I said, nah, let me get a QB, man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's tempting, but you're talking about the first pick.
Right.
If this was a fantasy draft and we were redrafting, the whole league, I'm sure somebody at some point wouldn't draft a quarterback. But I would imagine those first few picks, people are snapping up quarterbacks as fast as they can.
Right.
Look, let me tell you the talent that Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson is right now is reshaping fantasy football. Because only unless you're in that prehistoric league where this super duper standard and 4 points for a touch, unless you're in one of those leagues, you got to go Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson first, because they outscore the opposition by 20, 25 points. They outscore the other quarterback by 20, 25 points.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. So, dude, you gotta go one of those cats right there. Even in fantasy football, and that used to be the rule: never go quarterback first. Always wait late to go quarterback. But if you look up and your quarterback has 22, and Mahomes and Jackson they have 58.
Right.
dude, that's a daunting task to even get a W out of that.
Right. And especially, both of them, they're going to get at least 40 points a week.
Right.
At least.
Easy.
Like, that's a given.
Easy.
And
getting off the bus.
Right. So, yeah, it's tough not to take either one of them. Well, cool, man. Yeah, I just wanted to ask y'all that. It's something that kind of popped in my head over the last week. But we're going to jump into a commercial really quick. And we'll be back. We're going to answer listener question and do our parting shots and get some trivia.
We're told that greatness is exceptional when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit defylifegear.com to get fitted for greatness.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast. It's episode 152. It's J.R. Glenf along with Thomas Stevens and Alvin Glenf. Guys, we got a listener question this week from our very own Regular Scott from Taking Knee for Marvel vs. DC. So I was working on the show, the topics list, and I was going to check the email, see if we had a listener question out there, and I get a text from Regular. Hey, you got your listener question for this week? I said, I'm about to go check now. He said, scratch that. I want it. So, yeah. So, we did have one, but I can push it back to next week. So, Regular Scott's question. Right. So, I was like, yeah, my guy. But it's a damn good question. So, yeah. Al, you first. Regular Scott wants to know, first of all, who's your favorite rap artist? And secondly, if you had to make an album with only 10 of their songs and the rest of them are gone forever, what would those 10 be? That's a damn good question.
Very, very good question. And leave it to Regular Scott to come up with a
right.
Regular. Just Regular Scott. Yeah, you hit it on that one, right? Something that I've thought about, artists, hip-hop artists, rappers, MCs, who's the best, who's my favorite, even making that distinction because, who I might have as my best of all time ain't necessarily my favorite. So this is something I've thought about a lot to the point that, I'm also stuck because when you think favorites, you think just one, right? And I've actually usually been that guy that say, you can't have 12 favorites of anything, like, you know what I mean? Like, so if you can't say it's one, then you don't really have no favorite. What's your favorite flavor? Strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, butter pecan. Nigga, you ain't got no favorite, right?
You just like shit.
So I've been that dude. You just like shit, right? So that being said, I got a disclaimer. If y'all don't mind, can I read my disclaimer before I answer the question? Here's my one favorite disclaimer. Due to the limitations of this question, my choice of favorite artist no way reflects the fact that this list could have been a list that was based on songs from Nas, KRS, Method Man, Rod Digger, MC Light, Joel Ortiz, Sean P, J. Cole, Jadakiss, Papoose, Big L, Eminem, Biggie Smalls, Master Ace, Black Thought, Mos Def, Talib Kweli. But since I had to pick one, fuck it. That's my disclaimer.
All right.
I will pick the Funk Dr. Spot, Redman, Nobles. That's my favorite artist. So, that being said, now I got to go through his catalog and pick 10 songs. You make it hard on a motherfucker, Regular Scott. So, my 10 songs would be Rated R, Below Trees, Time for Some Action, Blow Your Mind, Smoke Buddha, I Just Don't Give a Fuck, Slap the Shit Out You, Pick It Up, Whatever Man, and Pimp Nuts. Shout out to the bonus tracks, because I know I can't do anything just by the rules, right?
All right.
So if I had if this is my album, I would have bonus tracks, the hidden bonus tracks if you bought the online joint, and those would be joints that he was on with somebody else. So those 10 songs are him by himself on this song. But so my bonus tracks would be the Rock Wilder, How High, Got My Mind Made Up on Tupac's All Eyes on Me album, and then the Headbanger with EPMD and K Solo. And that's my list.
Okay. All right. Damn good artist, damn good list. That's right. Pooh, what top 10 Tupac songs are you putting on there? Did I blow your cover? Was he supposed to be a surprise? You on mute or you eat chips again?
He's trying to get this from 67 to 10.
Right. Trying to narrow this down.
I'm here. All right.
So who you got, Pooh?
I got Pac. I definitely got Pac.
No.
I do. Okay. So, Me Against the World. If I Die Tonight. Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yeah.
It Ain't Easy. So Many Tears. White Man's World. Pain. Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. Papa Song. Oh boy, I got one more. My last song. Oh wow. Ah man, bro, I got 9.
How about what's
so many of them.
I'm like, dang.
Don't want me to leave them out, man. I gotta pick a song off the Thug Life album, though. I do. I gotta pick a song off the Thug Life album, and the song is damn. I can't record the name of it. It's the last song on the CD. Damn. I'm gonna have to Google it, yo. I feel like a clown. Thug Life, because once I get in mode, I'll play the joint to all the way get me there. Just all the way get me there. Let me see. Hold on. Another second. And it's definitely not coming up for me. Knew it wouldn't, but I got it. Almost got it. Look at the damn TikTok. Come on, yeah. Man, Thug Life album and TikTok. A TikTok video pop up.
They got Pac on TikTok.
TikTok. Hey, TikTok.
He means it.
Hey, TikTok taking over, man.
Man, TikTok. Everywhere.
I saw you. Hey, but I'm putting it in now. But shout out to Goody Mob, man. I've been riding hard to Goody Mob. I think that Still Standing might be, man. It give me, Me Against the World, my favorite album ever. But that Still Standing really giving us a run for its money, man. I love that Still Standing.
Yeah. Goody Mob don't ever Still Standing. Both of their first 2 albums, both of them ever come out of my rotation. I keep them both in rotation. Very underrated album. That's Still Standing album.
Straight Ballin'.
Oh, Straight Ballin', right.
Oh, okay, yeah, I love that song. Straight motherfucking ballin'.
Right.
Ballin'. No, see that's when the one they well, I don't know, never mind. Straight Ballin', yeah. Straight Ballin'.
All right.
The one that sound like it's been chopped or screwed.
Oh, you used to play that shit all the time.
Oh my God, I love it, man. Because the one they put it on his new album as well. Once he had Parrish, but they put it on his new album. They sped it up. You know, it was the same lyrics. Yeah, but man, the one off the Thug Life album. Oh my goodness, I love it.
Okay. I don't know if I've heard that one.
That's what I'm saying. Back, pull it up, Thug Life. Go to YouTube Music. You get all that for free. You already know. So, Thug Life, straight balling. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Yeah. Soldier Story too, though. See, that's 11, but
you got a bonus track? Al gave us a bonus.
Sorry,
Scott.
Give me Soldier Story, man, off the Tupacalypse Now.
All right.
This album, Soldier Story.
All right. So of course y'all know I went Biggie.
Of course.
So I mean, it's my list. So my hold on, let me get back to it. First of all, I gotta make sure I got just 10. Yeah, I do. Okay. So my 10 Biggie songs that I gotta stick with forever. One in no particular order. Unbelievable. Juicy. Niggas Bleed. Who Shot You? 10 Crack Commandments. The What? With Method Man. Real Niggas Do Real Things. One More Chance remix. Warning. And Story to Tell. And my bonus tracks. My bonus track is Notorious Thugs, featuring
I love that
Bone
shit.
Thugs and Harmony. Yeah. So it was tough, man. I had to leave out, Dreams of fucking R&B bitch. I love that song. Had to leave out the I Love the Dough. Had to leave out Hypnotize a bunch of shit. So yeah. So yeah, I had to leave out the song with Jay, Brooklyn's Finest. Just so many that I would have to. I almost picked like a artist I didn't like just so I can list 10 of their whack songs and all the Biggie songs will stay here. But yeah, thanks a lot, Regular Scott. Damn good question, and it intrigued me and tore my heart out at the same time. It was a lot of songs I did not want to leave out, but that's what makes a good question a good question.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, y'all keep bringing these questions on, man. If got anything you want to ask us, you disagree with something we say, or you just want to get some shit off your chest, let us know. You can email us at info@godefylife.com, or you can find us on social media on all platforms at godefylife, or you can do like Regular Scott and just text me and be like, "Get that other shit out of here. I want this one." So, do what you want to do, y'all. Yeah, just please keep sending them on. Fuck your couch. But yeah, man. And we're not gonna have I really didn't have anything I felt strongly. I can't get out the fucking house, so I didn't even. I don't have a buy or sell this week. It ain't shit I feel strongly about this week, other than I hate my kids 3 hours out of the day. But I'm sure y'all buy that shit too. You probably hate yours too. But yeah, so we'll chime back in with a buy or sell when some shit come along that I feel strongly about again.
Right.
So, but yeah, y'all ready for this trivia?
No doubt, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, there are 3 categories with 4 questions each, and they each pertain to something we talked about on the show this week. So it's going to be fun. So first, we're going to talk about tight ends. Secondly, we're going to talk about offensive linemen. And thirdly, since it's probably going to take a damn miracle for us to have a football season, we're going to talk about Hail Mary passes. So, yeah. So, again, questions 1 through 4, traditional style like we always do. So, yeah, Pooh, you still on the snide. So you lost last week. Al, it ain't take me long to remember that shit.
Man, Neek streak, man. I got to get over
streak on your back.
Hey, before you get it, do you remember? I know Jay remember. Do you remember Al? Dominic Dominique Wilkins had missed 57 straight field goal attempts. They was calling it the Neek streak.
And that kid was jacking him up too.
57 in a row, yo. 57 in a row.
I don't remember that he missed 57 shots in a row.
57 shots in a row.
57 field goal attempts in a row.
Yeah.
The Neek streak.
The Neek streak.
That's wow.
Sports Center was killing him.
Oh my gosh, Stuart Scott was roasting.
Yeah, like they had a counter going on in the corner up top. Like every time he missed one, and then there was like a little animation by the counter. It was like a ball breaking off the rim. Like they was killing him, man.
It's killing him.
And all I remember was Dominique jacking threes from the left corner. That's all I remember. Missing every last one of them.
Letting them go.
Yeah, it ain't slow him down.
Why did he go dunk the ball?
He was older by that point.
Yeah, he was older.
Okay.
Yeah, he was with San Antonio, right?
Yeah, this is when he was with the Spurs.
Yeah.
So he earned every one of them 57 shots. He was taking them.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, man. All right. So Al, you want to go tight ends, offensive lineman, or Hail Mary?
Let's go offensive lineman for 3.
All right. Offensive lineman for 3. This former Steelers center was patient 0 for the discovery of CTE. 5.
Mike
4. Mike Webster is correct. 3 points for Al. All right. All right, Pooh, where we going?
Kid starting off on the roll. Let me get let me see. We have tight ends, offensive linemen, and who else?
Hail Marys.
Oh, Hail Mary. Let me get tight end for the 3.
Tight ends for 3. Listen carefully. This Hall of Famer has ties to both of your favorite teams. Pooh and Al, both of your favorite teams. Who is this Hall of Fame tight end?
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mike Ditka was a former Pro Bowl tight end for the Dallas Cowboys and Chicago Bears, and later won a Super Bowl as head coach of the Chicago Bears. Mike Ditka.
It could only be Mike Ditka.
Right.
That was Mike Ditka. What number was that in tight end?
3.
Okay.
It could only be Mike Ditka.
All right.
Let me try offensive lineman for 4.
Offensive lineman for 4. This former Eagles offensive tackle had a long rivalry with Michael Strahan as a player. Now, as a father, he has a son of the same name entering the 2020 NFL Draft. Who is he?
You said with Michael Strahan?
Mm-hmm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. I don't know. Onion?
Oh, John Runyon. You got it. You should have said it earlier, but you got it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, John Runyon. John Runyon Jr. is a guard from Michigan. It seems like Michigan's whole offensive line is coming out this year. But, yeah, he's a guard from Michigan. Should be like a 5th, 6th round pick.
Okay.
All right. Pooh?
All right. Hail Mary for 3.
Hail Mary for 3. These 2 future Pro Bowlers connected on a famous Hail Mary while they were still teammates at the University of Colorado.
Future Pro Bowlers.
5, 4,
Colorado.
3,
Ray
2,
Caruth
1.
and Slash.
Oh, you almost got it. Cordell Stewart and Michael Westbrook.
Michael Westbrook.
All right.
Michael
Al,
Westbrook was a Pro Bowler?
he made the Pro Bowl 1 year
Playing for who?
with the Redskins.
Dang.
Yep.
I didn't remember that.
Al.
Let me get offensive lineman for 2.
All right. Cordell made it 1 year too.
Yeah.
Offensive lineman for 2. This Rams left tackle is the oldest offensive lineman currently in the NFL. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
What is his name? Whitworth?
Andrew Whitworth, yep.
Whitworth. Yeah, I know that one.
All right,
Just-
cool.
Just my luck not to get him. Well, Al, 3, right?
Yeah, Al got 3.
Oh yeah, okay.
And what do we have available?
In tight ends, you have the 1, the 2, and the 4.
Okay.
Offensive lineman, you have the 1. And Hail Mary, you have the 1, the 2, and the 4.
Let me have offensive lineman for 1. Let me get on the board.
All right. Offensive lineman for 1. This former left tackle saw his career cut short by injury. Last week, we discussed him almost having his life cut short by the coronavirus.
Oh, Tony Baselli.
Tony Baselli is correct. 1 point for it. All right. Al?
Let me try tight ends for 2.
Tight ends for 2. This former Cleveland Browns great is also the former GM of the Baltimore Ravens.
Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie Newsome is correct. 2 for Al.
That's that. Wow. I got to go something for 4. What's for 4 left?
You got tight ends and Hail Mary for 4.
Tight ends for 4.
Tight ends for 4. The award for college football's best tight end is named after him. I need a first and last name.
I really don't know it.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The Ray McIntyre Award.
Oh, no, sir. John Mackey, the Mackey Award.
John Mackey. Yeah, the Mackey Award.
Okay. All right.
Al? Let me do Hail Mary for 4.
Hail Mary for 4. He tried to put you away, Pooh.
Right. Trying to catch a Hail Mary.
Right.
Oh, all right. Hail Mary for 4. His 96-yard run in overtime is the longest run in NFL history to end a game.
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester is incorrect. It's Garrison Hurst.
Oh, Garrison Hurst down the side. Oh, yeah.
Against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Damn.
All I got is an image of Mo Lewis missing a tackle, and off went Garrison. That's all I know.
Yeah, he like had his hands on him or something.
Right, yeah.
Deuces.
Yeah. All right, Pooh.
What do we have?
And tight ends, you have the 1. Offensive lineman is gone, and Hail Mary, you have the 1 and the 1 and the 2. Let's see what
1
Al
and the
did.
2. Al has 5. I have 2.
You got 1.
I have 1.
Yeah, you got Tony Baselli for 1 offensive line.
Oh my!
Tried to get a bonus point.
He did try to get a bonus track in there.
So I gotta get that 2. Whatever that 2 is. Give me that 2. That's
Hail
the highest
Mary.
thing on the board right now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Hail Mary for 2. Which Hall of Fame quarterback was on the losing end of Cal beating Stanford while the marching band had come onto the field?
Cal beating Stanford. Man, I can only say
5, 4.
that
3,
can't be. I'm gonna say
2.
John Elway.
John Elway is correct. Good guess.
Wow. Never knew that.
Yep. All right, 2 for Pooh. All right,
Still in the
Al,
game now.
What's left?
You got the 1 and
The 1.
hold on. You got the 1 in tight ends and the 1 in Hail Mary.
I'm done. I can't catch it.
Right.
Let me do 1 in tight ends.
1 in
You
tight
right,
ends.
right.
1 in tight ends. He leads all tight ends and is 3rd in NFL history with 1,325 receptions.
Tony Gonzalez?
Tony Gonzalez is correct.
Gotta be. Yeah, had to be.
And Pooh, for shits and giggles. Hail Mary for 1. This former Boston College quarterback threw the most famous Hail Mary in college football history.
Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Al.
Damn.
By the score of 6
the Neek streak
to
continues,
4.
huh?
The Neek streak continues. Good job.
League streak continues.
Well, Al, you won. What you got for me, sir? What's your parting shot?
Man, my parting shot is just to take advantage of the time to continue show love to your folks and yourself, and try to keep the anxiety to a low, and just ride this out. It is a pleasure to have the opportunity to do things that you enjoy. So do that as much as possible, even though, you know, we are facing different times. We can still, you know, make the best of it and live productive and healthy lives. So, you know, I just want to emphasize that, and to all of those who are following the guidelines and mandates, you know, big ups, keep it up. Those who have to work for, I, you know, ask and pray that y'all stay safe, and thank you for whatever you're doing, you know, for those who are, you know, sacrificing and helping us get through this. Fortunately, there's some of us who still have to go out there, even though, you know, for whatever reason, whether it's the job is making us go or whatever, that we are still having to go to work. So for all those people, you know, definitely stay safe, and, you know, we pray that everybody gets home healthy and we can get through this as fast as possible. But other than that, I enjoyed this show, and look forward to talking with y'all next week.
Damn right. All right. Pooh, what you got for me? What's your parting shot?
Man, I'm gonna have to get West Coast some money back on the show, man. I gotta get my wins up.
Go ahead.
But
and speaking of which, Al will be facing off against Simba and movie man Miggs tomorrow for the championship game in trivia. So good luck, Al.
Okay. No doubt, man. Good luck.
Represent the show.
Save money on the West Coast. Ain't no competition.
I gotta
get them lightweights back.
I gotta get my wins up, man. Gotta get my weight up with my hate, man.
Right.
But hey, definitely, I just want to echo the same thing. Value the time that the time that you're receiving with your fam. If you have to go out, be safe, and we applaud and salute, you know, everyone that's going out there risking it all. The healthcare profession, the mom and dad that's getting out there, you know, feeding their family. So God bless, man, and Godspeed, and keep fighting. Like Al said, we're gonna get through it to the end. Just see it through.
Doubt. Cool. Yeah. I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit, man. So I know the coronavirus is the first and foremost thing on our minds, but I just want to give a heads up and a shout out to my fellow draft nerds. The NFL draft will be completely virtual. Shit, I guess it's got something to do with coronavirus too. But due to the coronavirus, the NFL draft this year will be completely virtual, which means no one will be in the room with each other, with anyone else. So all teams will have representatives with cameras at their homes, and they will announce picks to the commissioner, and that will be virtual. He will be in an office or a studio setting, but teams cannot be in their facilities. So every team representative will be at their own home. And, Roger Goodell essentially sent out memos to all 32 teams, basically telling them if you start talking shit about this virtual draft and that we decided to go on with it, you know, in a different form, you will be fined. So it is mandatory that everybody, so the draft will go on. It'll be different than we've ever seen it before. But it's good to see that some leaders in this world are making precautions and taking the necessary steps that to make things happen in a different way, other than just saying, hey, this shit gonna go away like a miracle. So kudos to the NFL that they decided to, since they decided to keep the draft, which is something that can be kept, on the same date. They took all the necessary precautions to make sure nobody's at risk. The top players, as normal, have been invited to the draft virtually, so they will be called in via video chat. So kudos to the NFL for making this work, and again, giving us some, us draft nerds, a little bit of an outlet while, all this stuff is going on. So, so it's kind of taking shape still. I know EA Sports has been mentioned of, having like virtual players walking up to like Madden style players walking up on the stage, hugging. So it should be fun to watch.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different, but again, kudos to the NFL and Roger Goodell. We talk enough shit about him, so we need to give him props when he makes stuff happen. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Me too. One more thing before we get out of here, though. Shout out to my baby girl. Her birthday was Saturday.
Yeah.
So happy 7th birthday. Yeah, almost got her.
Happy
Nice,
birthday,
nice.
Coop.
Happy belated.
All right. Yeah, and again, man, that kind of is a microcosm of, taking advantage of being around family and kind of making things work, the way y'all had to make things work, and for her birthday, and
right.
And like Keita said, she said that she'd never forget that birthday. So it's the little things that count.
Yeah.
So kudos to you and your family for making it special for her, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, man. Well, that's it. It's been another good one. Look at us, right at an hour and 33 minutes. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Ain't like we got shit nowhere to go tomorrow, but shit, fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. It's been episode 152 of the Defy Life Podcast. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
If you're into all things comics, you have to check out Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, your go-to podcast for comic and superhero discussion, debates, polls, and more. Tune in as Regular Scott and Ozzy Killmonger chat about your favorite comic topics, and you never know who may show up for an open mic or what will be next on their favorite One Gotta Go. Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, every Sunday, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network.